So it's been 8 months traveling now. This has to be one of my top 3 most beautiful cities we've seen here in Europe. It is just remarkable.
Prague was never on our radar. However, at this point in our grand tour, we had heard countless fellow travelers rave about this city, so we decided we just had to go check it out for ourselves. So we made the leap, booked ourselves a place, and bought last-minute tickets to see just what is so special about this Central European capital. What we found shocked us. Gorgeous architecture, fascinating history, questionable art, and yes, a chapel decked out in thousands of human bones. If you're new to the channel, welcome. We create videos of our world travels hoping to inspire others to dream up a journey of their own. This is the Dream to Journey family, spending a week discovering Prague.
We board a train in Vienna and make our way north to the capital of the Czech Republic, Prague. Alrighty, AirBNB number 24, I think. Definitely a bit of a smaller place. I think we thought it was gonna be a little bit bigger. We didn't know that this all was in one room. It just goes to show AirBNB pictures can be misleading, but Reese seems pretty happy. Right outside, it's definitely like, this is probably one of our older stays we've been in. But boy, it is weird to be in a place where like you really don't understand anything. We know one Czech word, which is what?
Ahoy!
What does that mean?
That means arg. That means hello.
I think it also means goodbye. We'll have to try. I guess we went through our tour so quickly we didn't really notice what we were looking at.
Usually there's like a clippy thing. I guess not in the Czech Republic though.
Or a shower curtain.
Or shower. Oh, I hate that. Seeing my own filth.
That takes so long.
It takes so long.
3, 2, 1, go! Running. There's nothing quite like the thrill of exploring a new city for the first time. We found a highly recommended tour guide and set off on an incredible walking tour of Prague's heart. One of the aspects we cherish most about European cities is witnessing the blend of old and new architecture, like the Gothic Powder Tower standing alongside more modern buildings. Reese quickly made new friends in our tour group. A highlight in Prague is the Prague Orloj, an astronomical clock tower from 1401 AD. On the hour, 12 apostles move through the tower's windows, adding to its allure. The clock's beauty has given rise to a legend that the town council blinded the clockmaker after its completion to ensure that it remained unique. The clock stands in a stunning town square, surrounded by restaurants, government buildings, fountains, and bustling crowds of locals and tourists, where you can truly feel the heartbeat of Prague. Our tour continued to captivate us as we crossed from the old town to the castle district, where we first gazed upon the magnificent Charles Bridge. More on that later. The street art in Prague sure knows how to make a splash. Our noses led us to a charming gingerbread cookie shop, which won over my heart with its delicious treats. Alright, we just came out of probably my favorite store I've ever been in.
They love serve gingerbread.
With a chocolate jam filling, with coconut dipped hands and toes. We have a ginger cake ball with raspberry and white chocolate.
That looks good.
The Lenin Wall in Prague, just steps from Charles Bridge, began in the 80s as a peaceful protest against the communist regime. Inspired by John Lennon's message of peace, people filled it with graffiti, Beatles lyrics, and words of resistance. Now, it's a constant changing mural where visitors from all over the world leave their own marks of hope and unity. After an incredible day with our tour group, we didn't want to part ways with our new friends at the end. Instead, we decided to have lunch together at a restaurant recommended by our guide. While churches and town centers may blend together in our travels, the connections we make with people linger in our minds and hearts. Saying goodbye was tough, especially for one of us.
I love you. Good night.
Prague has a well-connected transit network that can easily get you where you need to go. In our case, we're headed back to the city center. Of all the food to sample here in Prague, this is one you simply can't miss.
Cheers, baby. Classic strawberry and banana ice cream. And it tastes exactly like it.
It does, it tastes super fresh. So, not a bad way to start the day. It's like 9 a.m. and
Reese's at the park.
Reese at the park. I'm liking this whole Prague thing. It's working out for us.
Charles Bridge, Prague's most iconic landmark, was built in the 14th century as a connection between Prague's town and castle. Lined with Baroque statues of saints, the bridge feels like an open-air gallery. We took our time strolling the bridge, pausing to admire the intricate stonework and taking in panoramic views of Prague Castle and the spires of the old town. It's best to arrive early in the morning, before the crowds of tourists and street vendors appear, to fully appreciate its charm. We then head over to Wenceslas Square, at the center of Prague's new town. This is the historic site of several large demonstrations, including in 1938 against Nazi Germany, and more recently during the Velvet Revolution, when, in 1989, 500,000 people gathered peacefully here to demand an end to the 41 years of communist rule in Czechoslovakia. The largest protests took place in late November 1989, with people ringing keys as a symbol of change. The sound of jingling keys became iconic, symbolizing the unlocking of a new, democratic future and the peaceful transfer of power. It was from this balcony that Václav Havel, the future first president of post-communist Czechoslovakia, delivered several speeches. Today, Wenceslas Square remains a place of historical significance, marking a moment of triumph for democracy in the Czech Republic.
World War II brought unimaginable hardship across Europe, and the Jewish Museum and memorials in Prague tell a deeply moving part of that history. So here we are at the Jewish cemetery. Has a Jewish museum and some really interesting sites, so hopefully they let me record and I can show you all about it. Beginning in 1939, when German troops entered the city, Jewish citizens faced harsh restrictions, and eventually over 46,000 Jews were deported to concentration camps. At the time, that was 20% of the city's population. The Jewish quarter had been the heart of Jewish life for centuries. But during the war, many were taken from their homes, never to return. Today, places like the Old Jewish Cemetery and historical synagogues stand as powerful reminders of Jewish history and the immense loss that occurred. Crossing the river, we ascend to the imposing Prague Castle, which dominates the skyline. This castle is not only an architectural and historical marvel, but also a central symbol of political and cultural life in the Czech Republic. It serves as the official residence of the Czech president and is the venue for many important government meetings. We ended up being the only ones on the official castle tour. We skipped lines and even got VIP access behind roped-off doors to walk out onto balconies overlooking the gorgeous city of Prague. As we explored the castle grounds, we stumbled upon the impressive St. Vitus Cathedral, the old-world charm of the royal palace, and the cozy little homes along Golden Lane. Each spot had its own unique tale to tell, and it's clear that the Czech people take great pride in keeping their history alive, preserving every detail with care.
We enjoyed our favorite meal at the Velko-Pravorsky Mlyn, an old mill where we shared duck leg and pork ribs and took in the peaceful surroundings for a price that we could stomach. After our meal, we passed by an interesting street, said to be the most narrow street in Europe, and allows only one person to pass at a time, hence the signal. To finish the day, we stopped by our favorite viewpoint at Charles Bridge to take in the sunset. I love travel. I love how it makes me feel alive in a way that nothing else does. But nothing makes my heart beat quite like this little girl of mine. I'm so in love with this cute little redhead.
So it's been 8 months traveling now. I think most people would ask and begin to wonder if you're sick of seeing such amazing things at this point. You know, if they just become mundane, do you really appreciate being in the places where you are? I'm not gonna lie, there's times where we are very tired of traveling. The wear and tear of traveling and taking care of a 1.5-year-old who's now running and not walking, and trying to figure out how to navigate transit systems and speaking different languages, and the list is endless. So yes, of course it's exhausting, but man, it is moments like this that just make it all worth it. For me at least, Prague just has this general beauty about it. So many different beautiful buildings and different kinds of beautiful buildings. So no, I never cease to be amazed at how beautiful the cities are here in Europe. Just breathtaking.
With an ambiance this romantic, we must have spent big bucks on this dining experience.
You enjoyed some dinner?
It was so good.
That was a good
That was probably the best McDonald's. The hamburger tastes like a normal hamburger. Good patty, plenty of toppings. The bun wasn't massive or too dry.
So there you have it, our top restaurant recommendation here in Prague.
When visiting Kutna Hora, we were blown away by how much history is packed into this little town. It's just about an hour from Prague, but it feels like you're stepping into a whole different world. One highlight is the St. Barbara's Church. You can't help but feel amazed by its size and the detail in the architecture. Then there's the Sedlec Ossuary, which is probably one of the most unique and a little eerie places I have ever been. The entire chapel is decorated with human bones. I'm talking chandeliers, wall decorations, even a coat of arms made from bones. It's one of those things you just have to see to believe. It sounds creepy, but when you're there, it feels more like a reflection on life and death than anything else.
So here we are, we just came out of the Bone Church, and wow, it was amazing.
Right.
Chilling.
Really was.
It was chilling.
But not in a scary way. Like, it was very humbling.
It didn't seem like somewhere gross or icky. It was beautiful. It
really
was
was.
really quite pretty.
Extremely artistic.
Very artistic and creative, and
It's worth the side trip.
I've never seen anything like that.
When back in Prague, we decided to try something we've never had before, beef tartare. We weren't sure what to expect, but honestly, it blew us away. The dish came with finely chopped raw beef mixed with spices and onion.
And that stuff is so good. It's so soft and juicy, and it just holds in all the flavors so much better than when it's cooked.
What temperature is it?
It's cold now. Yeah, served cold. I could have that every day for the rest of my life. It's surprisingly good, huh?
If you're in Prague and feeling adventurous, Definitely give it a try. A local favorite.
And for dessert, we split a turtleneck. This Czech pastry is dough wrapped around a cylinder and baked over hot coals. Coat it with chocolate and it is simply irresistible. Now nighttime, we stroll Charles Bridge and experience the magic of Prague for the very last time. Prague surprised us in many ways. We found ourselves drawn in by the history, the food, and the friends we made along the way. This city has served as a gorgeous backdrop for some truly incredible moments for our little family. Prague has it all. Prague has our hearts. If you enjoyed this adventure, journey along with us by subscribing. Next time, we find ourselves exploring timeless, alluring Greece. Thanks for watching, and as always, dream big and enjoy the journey.